So today I'm going to be showing you a different twist on a popular dish from South India called Uttapam. Uttapam is traditionally made from a batter that is fermented, and the batter consists of rice and urad dal. But I'm going to be making the batter today with two different grains to just bring a little bit more variety in your palate. So the first, instead of urad dal, what I'm going to be using is yellow mung dal. So it's the same green whole mung beans with the skin removed and sort of cut in half a little bit. Very, very quick to cook and very easy to digest. And the second ingredient I'm using instead of rice, it's called sorghum. It's a variety of millet. It's gluten-free. It is astringent and sweet in taste. And it's sort of drying to the body. So it's great for conditions like excess weight, diabetes, or high cholesterol. It's a really light and easy to digest grain as well. So what I do is I take equal portions of both, mix it together, and I just soak it in a little bit of water. First, I'm going to wash these grains out, grains and lentils. And just discard the old water. This is to remove any impurities that may exist. And then I'm going to cover it with water. And what we want to do with this mixture is soak it overnight, or at least for 6 to 8 hours. So I'm going to leave this away. So after soaking the two lentils, the lentil and the millet overnight, what you can do is grind it in a food processor or a high-speed blender, and then let it ferment at least overnight or another 8 hours in a warm place. If you live in a cold climate, what I like to do is I'll switch on my oven for a few minutes at about 160, 180 degrees, quickly switch it off so it's a little bit warm, and then put the batter inside. And then it will have nicely fermented. If you live in a hot climate, not necessary to do this at all. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and it should have a slight sour smell to it. So you can see the batter has fermented really nicely, and it's all fluffy. I'm going to mix it around a little bit. And now what I'm going to do, so Uttapam generally has spices and vegetables mixed into the batter and then cooked on a hot skillet. I'm going to mix some veggies into the batter, but I'm going to do the spicing a little bit different. So I've got a separate saucepan, and the batter may need a little bit of thinning out, so just have a water on hand ready for that. I'm going to pour in some of the batter. Thin it out with a little bit of water. Give it a nice good mix. Perfect consistency. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add to the batter is a little bit of salt. And I've got some vegetables prepared that are going to go in as well. So 3 vegetables I'm going to use today: grated zucchini, grated carrot, and some chopped spinach. Feel free to use any vegetables of your choice, anything that you can grate nicely, put in. Adding in all of these vegetables. And again, this is a complete meal. You've got your vegetables in it, you've got your lentils, which provide the protein, and you've got the millets, which give you some sort of carbohydrates. This is good to make fresh if you're at home for lunch and you want something different, or you can even make it in the morning and pack it in your lunchbox and take it to work. So you've got all the vegetables nicely incorporated into the batter. And I'm going to do the seasoning or the spice tempering a little bit different. So I've got my skillet nice and hot. And to the skillet. So I've got my skillet nice and hot. And I'm going to add a little bit of ghee. So instead of doing the spice tempering and then mixing it in the batter, I'm going to do the spice tempering and pour the batter on top. So the top of it will be nice and crispy and you'll get all of those seeds and spices sitting at the top of the uttapam. So start off with some mustard seeds. And then I'm going to go in with some lightly crushed coriander. Some sesame seeds. And some curry leaves. I'm just going to tear these up a little bit. And then what I'm going to quickly do is scoop the batter straight on. Spread it out. And you want to make it like a thick pancake, not too thin, almost a fritter-like thickness. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with a lid so the top of it can also nicely cook in its own steam. Now there are many ways that you can spice this batter differently. You could do the tempering in a separate saucepan, add it to the batter, mix around, then all you have to do is pour it on the pan. I've tried something different today to get that nice crispy crunchy topping with the spices all on the top, and hopefully it's something that you'll try and enjoy. So after about a minute or two, we'll just open the lid and check to see whether the uttapam has started to cook, and you'll notice that it started to cook if there are bubbles forming at the top. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, still want a little bit of time to cook. Okay, I'm going to check the uttapam to see whether it's ready to flip. And just slightly lift the edges. You want it to be a little bit brown on the underside, so I'm going to let it cook for a minute or two. Sorghum is another great gluten-free grain that you can start to incorporate in your diet. It's also cooling in nature, so it's a really good grain to include during the summertime. Remembering that changes in season, changes in environment around us don't just mean we change what we do or change the clothes that we wear, but we also slightly change the foods that we eat, because the external heat around us is also reflected inside of us. So we should be trying to do whatever we can to keep the inside of our bodies nice and cool. Okay, you can start to see around the edges, it's slightly changing color and it's becoming a little drier and cooked. So I'm going to give it a bit of a peek and I'm going to flip it around. And look at that. Beautiful golden color on top. You've got all of the spices and seasoning nicely crisped up. We're going to let it cook a little longer on the other side. Uttapam is great paired with a chutney. You can make a coconut chutney, you can make a coriander chutney, any type of sauce, anything runny. People like to dip it in something and eat it. It's a great meal to have hot, like I mentioned before, or even as a lunchbox snack. You can, make it in the morning, then just cut it up into pieces and take it with you to work or pack it in your child's lunchbox. Variety of different ways that you can make it. And another really versatile thing about this batter is once you've made it, it's in the fridge, it's really quick and easy to whip up this dish. You don't have to, you've already done all of the preparation. And once fermented, this batter will last in the fridge for up to 2 to 3 days. The longer it sits, the more it gets fermented, so you don't want it to sit too long. But I would say try to use it between a day or two. So, you know, even if you've got guests coming over for dinner or you want to make something, this dish, all of the preparation can be done beforehand. You're not doing it right before your cooking time. Okay, and it's smoking now, so it looks like it's done. Look at that, perfectly cooked. I'm going to flip it over. And ready for serving. So there you have it, a beautiful sorghum and yellow mung dal uttapam, using different grains, ones that you're probably not used to in your everyday diet, but it comes out in this beautiful dish, easy to make. I like to call it like a savory pancake with spices in it. So I really hope you give it a try, that you enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.